Hello and welcome to lesson 19 of math. And today's objective is to compare place value chart to standard form. So what that means is, remember how yesterday we were solving addition problems using our place value chart? And then when we had 10 in any spot, we had to bundle and move them over. Well, we're going to compare that to what it looks like to solve things in the vertical form. So if you had 40 plus 24. So that is what our job is going to be today, to look at the place value chart and look at the standard form. We also call the standard form vertical form. Vertical form. So you might see that today too. All right, let's jump into it. So first things first, we are going to start with our application problem. Our application problem is on page 113. So go ahead and get that page open. I'm going to get you started, but then you're going to finish it on your own. All right, as always with our word problems, we are going to read the problem, draw a picture to help us, and then write the answer. All right, so let's read the problem. There are 35 note cards in one box. There are 67 note cards in another box. How many note cards in all? All right, well, let's break down and think about what we are looking at. We are looking at note cards, and there seem to be a couple boxes. I read there's 35 in one box and 67 in another box. So for my picture, let me get a different color here. I might draw a couple boxes, all right? Or really a couple tape diagrams to show my boxes. All right, how many are in the first box? There are 35 note cards in one box. So this box has 35. Go ahead and draw that on your paper. And how many are in the other box? There are 67 note cards in the other box. So I'll do a little 67 above that box. And the question asks, how many note cards in all? In all. In all. That is a clue word. It's asking how many note cards there are all together. In all. Whenever you see that, all together or in all, it means we need to add. We're going to add these two boxes of note cards together to find out how many cards there are in all. All right, so I will set you up for this problem by stacking our numbers here. 35 plus 67. Or you could solve this by drawing them out in your place value chart. Hundreds, tens, and ones. You could draw your 35 and then add your 67. Alrighty, whichever way you do it, I want you to start by adding up your ones. Don't forget, just like yesterday, if you get 10 in any column, you have to move it over. So, do your best to solve this. Pause the video, and when you're done solving this, unpause and we will move on to the next page. Okay, so now that you have the answer to the word problem for today, let's take a look at our problem set. So this is the next page over. So that was page 113. This is page 114. And let's read the directions, but I'm actually going to change the directions a little bit for you. So let's read it. It says, solve the following problems using the vertical form, your place value chart, and place value discs. Bundle a 10 or 100 if needed. Okay, so let's break it down. It says solve using the vertical form. Okay, that is the most important thing. We are going, every one of us is going to stack these numbers up to solve them in the vertical form. Okay, you have to do this. Now it also wants you to use your place value chart and place value discs. That is an option for you. If you can solve these using the vertical form and you can do it correctly, then that's all you need to do. Now I am going to show you both of these because some of us might need that place value chart to help us, and that is totally fine if you do. All right, so we're going to do, as usual, a couple of these together. Let's start by doing B together. All right, so this time it gives us enough space, but you do need to write kind of small to fit everything in. So I'm going to neatly stack these numbers up into vertical form. Now we are adding, so it doesn't matter which number I put on top, but just for good habit, I like to always put the first number they give me on top. So I see 28, and then I'm going to add, so I'll put a little plus sign, add 91. So I'm making sure that my ones are stacked up right on top of each other and my tens are stacked up right on top of each other. And then I put a line underneath them. Okay, that is the vertical form. That's what all of us need to have on our paper. Now, because our objective is to compare the vertical form to our place value chart, I'm also going to draw my place value chart. So I'm going to draw in my 28. Well, I see 28 has 2 tens and 8 ones. And then I'm going to add my 91. 91 has 9 tens and just 1 1. Okay, and we are ready to solve. So where do we start? Do we start by adding our hundreds, our tens, or our ones? Well, we always start with your ones. Always start with your ones because we might have to move them over. Alrighty? So I'm going to look at my place value chart first, and I'm going to count my ones. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I just got to 9, which means I didn't get 10, so I don't need to move anything. I just put a 9 down. Now I'm going to pause and look over at my vertical form here. Let's add our ones. What is 8 plus 1? Well, I just counted those up and I know it is 9. So let's compare these two really fast. They look pretty similar so far, right? We so far still have 9. We added 8 plus 1 and we had 9. We added 8 plus 1, and we got 9. So far they are the same. Okay, let's now add our tens. Oops. Alrighty, so count with me as I count up my tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop, hold on. 10. I have 10 over here, which means I need to circle all 10 and move them over. So 10 tens means I have 100, so I need to move that 100 over. Okay, and let's see what I have left. I just have this one little 10 left, so I'll put that down there. All right, so let's see how many hundreds I have. I just have the one that I just moved over. Ooh, all right, let's go to the vertical form. Let's add our tens. We have 2 plus 9. What is 2 tens plus 9 tens? Well, 9, 10, 11. It's 11. Look, 11 tens are here, and we're just going to put 11 tens in here, but I'm going to make it look like that. Why did I make it look like that? Well, just like we've been doing with our ones, if this wasn't 9, say this was 11, I wouldn't squish all 11 in this little spot. I would split it up. I'm keeping my tens with my tens over here and my hundreds with my hundreds. If there are 2 digits for my answer, I need to split them up to keep them with their place value. Now in this case, did I have, let me see, let's go back to our place value chart actually. That's exactly what we did with our place value chart. We had 11 total in my tens here. I took my group of 10 and I moved it over to my 100. That's exactly what I did here. I moved that group of 10 over to my hundreds place. Now in this case, there's no other hundreds here to add. So it's really 0 plus 1, which is just my 1. And that's where I got this 1 over here. So it's kind of confusing to explain it out, but I hope that you see what you did. We really just bundled a group of 10 tens and we moved them over to the hundreds. We moved our 100 over to our hundreds column. Okay, so that's how we are going to solve today's problems. Now, like I said earlier, if you are still kind of unsure of what to do, draw the place value chart first and then try to solve it in the vertical way, okay? But if you think you kind of understand, you can just do the vertical method. So we're actually going to do the vertical method for this next problem. Let's do, I'm going to go down a little bit. Let's do E together now. So on your paper, I would like you to stack 68 plus 75. Okay, make sure that your ones are on top of your ones and your tens are on top of your tens. Stacking them up is very important. All right, and let's add. Where do we start? The tens or the ones? We always start with the ones. Okay, so let's add these up. 8 plus 5. Take a second to figure that out. Okay, I know that 8 plus 5 is 13. Now 13 is too big to fit here, right? So it can't look like that. I need to split it up. I'm going to put my 10 over here and my 1s over here. Notice how it still looks like 13. I just split it so that the first digit was with my 10s and the second digit was next door. Okay, now we can add our 10s. Now we have a lot to add here. 6 plus 7 and then plus 1 more that we just added. So what's 6 plus 7? Well, I know 6 plus 7 is 13. So let's now add 1 more to that because I added this little 1 down here. 13 plus 1 more is 14. So again, 14, I can even put my dotted lines here. 14 is too big to squish in right here. So I can't do that. I need to split it up. So I'm splitting that up. 14 tens is split up like that. And now I can add my hundreds. Okay, well, I only have one number over here. I only have this 1. So 1 plus nothing is still just 1. 100. So my answer looks like it is 143. See how I did that? When the number was too big, I just split it up. I moved it over. All right. Let's do one last one together. And then you're going to finish up this page on your own. Let's go back up here to D. So we're all going to stack these up. 97 plus 35. Make sure that your 1s are on top of your 1s and your 10s are on top of your 10s. All right, and now we are going to add. We always start with our 1s. So what is 7 plus 5? Take a second to figure that out. 7 plus 5 is 12. Okay, 12 is too big to squeeze in here. 12 needs to be split up. So I'm going to take the 10 and I'm going to move it over to my 10s. It still says 12. It's now just split up. Okay, let's add our 10s. 9 plus 3 plus 1 more. So let's do 9 plus 3 first. 9, 10, 11, 12 plus 1 is 13. Okay, again, 13 is too big to be squished in there. I need to split it up. 13. Do that on your paper. All right, and finally we can add our hundreds. I don't see anything here. I don't see anything here. We only have the 1 that we added. So 1 plus nothing is 1. 97 plus 35 equals 132. Okay, so on your paper, when you turn this in, I should see this work. I should see the numbers stacked up, and I should see when you had to split the numbers, when you had to move the 10s or the hundreds over. Now, if you needed to, you can also draw in your place value chart to solve these. But I also, even if you do the place value chart, I still want to see you try the vertical way too. Alrighty, so whenever you group a group of 10 and move it over, that's when you move over your 10 in your vertical way. All right. So you're just going to finish this first page. So page 114. So you still have, let me get a different color. I'll get green. You're going to do A, C, and F. All right, A, C, and F. Make sure to show your work and take a picture when you are done.